Everything has been changed with watchOS 26. I believe it's Apple's most underrated announcements here at WWDC 2025. I'm here at Apple Park in Cupertino, and I just got you an exclusive hands-on look on watchOS 26. By the end of this video, you'll find tons of features that you probably didn't know about and that Apple didn't talk about in the keynote. Now let's start talking about its massive redesign. Apple has brought liquid glass to the Apple Watch. This is what Apple is calling its incredible, beautiful design. Everything in watchOS 26 now is way much more translucent, fluid, and reflective. It's obviously been highly inspired by visionOS, and features like the Smart Stack, notifications, control center, and even in-app navigation now have this layered dynamic feel. It kind of feels like everything is obviously, well, made out of glass. I'm honestly very curious on what you think of liquid glass. I honestly feel like it feels very fresh and modern. The Photos watch face on Apple Watch now uses liquid glass numerals, and your wallpaper really pops. The numbers will have this translucent design, so the wallpaper that you put in your Photos watch face will be visible through the time. It's honestly a very cool look. Apple has also brought its first ever Apple Intelligence feature to the Apple Watch, and Apple calls it Workout Buddy. And it's a brand new UI experience that gives you real-time coaching during workouts. It's basically an AI text-to-voice generator that is trained with Apple Fitness Plus trainers' voices. It's basically like having a personal trainer who knows your data, your pace, your heart rate, milestones, and honestly even the activity range, and will tell you things like you're 18 minutes away from closing your exercise rank, or you just crossed your 200-mile goal this year. This was your longest run in 28 days. And don't forget, Siri is not speaking to you, and Apple Fitness Plus trainer will be speaking at you, which makes this feature feel incredibly special. Something to note here, and Apple has not talked about this, is that this will only work when obviously wearing AirPods or Bluetooth headphones and having an iPhone nearby, because the Apple Watch obviously does not have Apple Intelligence. Your iPhone does, so you'll need an iPhone with Apple Intelligence support nearby in order for this feature to work, which kind of makes sense. The Workout app also brings a bunch of new features, and it's been completely redesigned. You basically have 4 corner buttons now to access your custom workouts, your pacer, and your pace route. It's way much more visual now. A very cool new feature is that you can also now set music or podcast before you start, so you don't really need to keep switching apps in order to put music during your workout. And using AI, Apple Music will also suggest a playlist based on your workout type. So it's obviously not the same an outdoor walk rather than a strength workout. So Apple Music will pick the right music for each workout in specific, which is an incredibly useful feature. The Smart Stack is a feature that got announced a couple years ago, and it's gotten tons of love at this event. It now has context awareness with these little features that Apple calls them hints. It is powered by your sensor and your routine data. Let me put you a couple examples just so you understand it perfectly. Let's say you go to Pilates every Tuesday, and every time you go to Pilates, you turn on a Pilates workout. Now the Apple Watch will understand context awareness. So when you go to Pilates, it will ask you, hey, do you want to start a Pilates workout? Or maybe your Apple Watch doesn't have any cellular data because you're in the middle of the mountains. It will ask you, hey, do you want to backtrack? And all of this is displayed in this beautiful liquid glass design. It will show up this little icon in the bottom. Tons of new features with messages as well. The brand new live translation features that are now available on the iPhone and iOS 26 are also now available in watchOS 26. This means that incoming text from a different language will automatically be translated in your language. So if someone is sending you a message in Chinese, it will automatically translate it for you. This is such an incredibly big deal, and your replies will automatically be translated as well. Your Apple Watch will also give you action suggestions. So if your friend is asking for some money because you had dinner with them the other day and they're like, yo, you gotta pay me back for that pizza night the other day, your Apple Watch will recommend you, hey, do you wanna pay John via Apple Pay Cash, those 20 bucks? Or if someone asks you, hey, text me when you're home, your Apple Watch will suggest you to turn on a check-in with your friend. The Apple Watch also now gets pause inside of iMessage. So if you've got a couple friends discussing on whether you should have pizza night or sushi night, you guys can all vote. We also now get custom backgrounds inside of an iMessage chat, which looks absolutely beautiful on the Apple Watch design. My personal favorite feature of the entire event is a new gesture that the Apple Watch has now. Now, so far, I've personally loved double tap, but now we have a brand new gesture, which is called wrist flick. So if you get a notification just by doing this action right here, it will dismiss notifications. You can silence alarms, hang up on phone calls, or go back to the watch face as well. It uses the accelerometer and obviously machine learning in order for this to work. It's perfect when you're holding a coffee, walking your dog, or even holding your wife's hand. You can just kind of do like this. People might look at you weird, but trust me, it's incredibly useful. Something big in audio and accessibility now is that your Apple Watch now auto-adjusts volume for Siri, for phone calls, depending on where you are. So if you're in an incredibly silent room, and if you haven't muted your Apple Watch, let's say you're in a meeting, your Apple Watch is at max volume, and I'm sure this has happened to you, where like, hey, be quiet. Well, it will now auto-adjust all by itself. So if you're in a really loud environment, the volume will be louder, or if you're in a way quieter environment, the volume will actually go down. Something that Apple barely talked about in the keynote was the Notes app. The Notes app is finally available on the Apple Watch. We have a dedicated Notes app now. And not only can you browse through your notes, but you can actually create a quick note. You can check off a checklist, or you can even pin notes. Obviously, you're going to use the iPhone most of the time for writing notes, but I feel like having it right on your wrist for specific situations, the Notes app on the watch can be incredibly useful. There's obviously so many more features in watchOS 26, from live listen with captions to the new watch face gallery, the new Photos watch face that shuffles your images automatically, and so much more. Subscribe because I'm going to be uploading over 100 new features inside of watchOS 26. We barely scratched the surface on everything that this new update has. If you want to see everything that's new in iOS 26, you can tap on this video right here, or iPadOS 26, tap on this right here, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.